Congratulations on another new kick-ass thing that you are doing in your world, Tracee Ellis Ross. You're doing amazing things.
Thank you very
No,
much.
for real. For real. Let's talk first about Mixed Dish.
Yeah, let's do it.
So Blackish, huge success.
Yeah, it's
right.
doing well.
And then Mixed Dish is a spin-off. So there's Blackish, there's Grown-ish, and then there's Mixed-ish.
Yes, the Mixed Dish goes backwards.
Right.
So it's my character Beau's childhood.
Okay, about growing up as a mixed-race child in like a much earlier time in America.
The 80s.
Right.
The binary 80s. Good clothes, good hair. Not.
You know what's interesting about like that feeling and that time is like being mixed race comes with a really interesting narrative in America.
It does.
Right?
Different where you're from.
Yeah, no, definitely. Where it's like you obviously had the one drop rule where it's like you're black immediately, and then like people were like, oh, but sometimes I don't feel black, or people tell me I'm not black enough, and
Or
there's this
what
whole
is
thing.
black? How is that
black?
defined?
How does black count? Like, is that ripe for comedy?
Sure, I mean, it's just like the subject matter on Blackish. If you list the things that we've done as stories on Blackish, you wouldn't think it was a comedy.
Right.
But I think that the things that we go through as human beings can be very funny. Mixed-ish is the story of how I came to be as Beau Johnson, but it's the story of a fish out of water, which all of us experience in many different ways.
Right, right.
I think the beauty of it is when you're telling the mixed story, you have these two different experiences, two different heritages, two different worlds. How do you, within that world, define yourself? And I think a lot of us experience that, whether it's because you have two different races or heritages that you come from, but when you feel other than. And I think that's a really interesting story to navigate through, especially when you're looking at the binary world of the 80s.
Have you ever felt other than?
All the time.
What do you mean all the time? I feel like, you know, like you came from this world, like, you know, Diana Ross's daughter, and it just feels like you were just like in the mix all the time.
With guns, just
yeah,
blazing?
just, you know, just like, it was the 80s, yeah.
No, it's a journey, it's like the journey with my hair. I mean, yes, my mother and I come from a family where my mom had natural hair and I was supported in loving myself as I am authentically, but the world around me and the representation and what I saw told me that my hair should be a different way and that my beauty was defined by a standard that I did not fit into.
Interesting.
And so as a result, I tried to beat my hair into submission, make it look easy breezy, bouncing and behaving. Why wouldn't it fall into my hair? All these different things. And I started this journey. You could chronicle my journey of self-acceptance through my journey with my hair.
It's interesting because if we see your hair now, like when I stalk you on social media, I see everyone loves the hair. Everyone's like, oh my God, I wish my hair, I wish my hair. And you had this amazing series of posts where you put out like your journey.
Yeah.
Of how you struggled with your hair, like relaxing the hair, straightening the hair, blowing out the hair, just trying to get it to not be what everybody loves.
Well, what it is.
Yes.
And I think, you know, the standard of beauty is steeped in patriarchy, racism, sexism. There was a standard of what things look like. We are in a different time now as there's an exploration happening. But these people with my hair, we've existed for a long time. We've been wearing our hair for ages. And I think the world is kind of waking up to our beauty and our power. I mean, did you ever wear your hair big?
Are you kidding? I always wanted to have my hair straight. Always.
See?
No, really, because I was like the thing.
And why?
Because in school, for instance, they would be like, if your hair's curly, it's too. They were like, it's messy.
Yeah.
It's ugly. They were like, so you know, like teachers would be like, hey, cut your hair.
Be
and
appropriate.
Then, like, but then like the white boys would have like that hair that's like
falls in your face.
You know, the hair like where you could do the thing.
Yeah, and every time they tried to get your attention, they'd be like this.
They'd do the thing, and then like if they'd say something, they'd be like, poof, and then the hair would come up.
I stood like this for a long time.
Why?
Because that's the way the girls stood, because their hair would just
Oh, you wanted the hair to do,
It didn't do anything, but I would just be like, whatever. Oh, are you talking to me?
Oh, that's so amazing.
Right?
So so then I went and then I like would even like try and relax my hand and they burnt my scalp and then like you know you do the whole thing in the salon and then they put the thing and then they like leave it in and you're
until
like,
you're like burning and they're like good.
They're like good. The more it burns, the straighter it becomes. And it's horrible.
Let's all of your heritage, everything that is you naturally, let's burn it out of you. No.
So you have a new hair care line specifically designed
for curly, coily, and tight textured hair.
Woo! Look at that.
So that your hair can be celebrated, nourished, it can be healthy, hydrated, happy, joyful, and juicy.
Wow. Wow.
Just like that.
What is the difference? That's one thing I've always wanted to know, because I know, like, for instance, I had to learn very early on that there are many hair care products you can't use with this kind of hair.
Yeah.
Like, you know when I learned it is when I first started traveling, I remember the first time I stayed in a hotel, and there was shampoo.
Oh, that's a bad
and then,
mistake.
like, this is just a rule. Like, if you're a black person, you just don't use shampoo in a hotel.
Don't use it.
It's not bad. It's just not made for your hair.
It's like using a bar of soap.
Yes, and I didn't know this. And I was like, oh, free shampoo. And then afterwards, I was like, no, I see why it's free. And it was horrible. So what makes your products different for, tight, coily...
Curly,
coily,
tighter textures.
Tighter textures.
Yeah. Filled with ingredients that are healthy and safe for your hair, ingredients that nourish your hair, that I don't know if you are somebody with this kind of hair, you know that you want slippage, you want clumping, you want curl activation.
Wow.
Yeah, you want hydration, you want moisture. I hear a lot of That's what you want, Trevor. So there's 3 conditioners, medium, heavy, and intensive. There is a hydrating shampoo that gently cleanses, but does not strip the hair of moisture.
This is fun.
Yeah. There's 2 oil serums, an argan serum, which I like to mix with the leave-in conditioner. There is also a jojoba serum, which is a blend of oils. Those can be used on your scalp, on your hair dry, or on your hair wet. And then there's also a shower brush, a clip, and a towel. And look at this! And a leave-in conditioner, because a lot of us, because our hair needs moisture, often don't rinse our conditioner completely out, which is actually not what you should do.
Wow.
Because the conditioner really should only be left in your hair for as long as it is prescribed. But when you finish rinsing, you want that moisture to be still in your hair, and you want to seal in the cuticle of the hair. This is such technical talk, guys.
Right, so that you can get the curl.
You want to seal it in and get that curl to bounce up and be juicy and joyful.
And
so you get that leave-in. I think you could use the leave-in conditioner. I'm not saying you need it.
No, but I would use it. I need it.
I'm talking about next thing you know, he's gonna come back and have
Daily Show with like curls, just like coming out of my hair. Just be like, these are my curls. I love the sounds. Congratulations on the shows, but you know what? Congratulations on just being like a kick-ass everything.
Oh, you're kind.
CEO, like president, creator of everything. No, I love the sound of these products so much that if you look under your seats right now, you guys don't even believe me.
First of all,
you didn't even look under. You were like, you're not Oprah, Trevor. Don't look under your seat.
They didn't even flinch.
Yeah, she was like, I know him. He's not Oprah. He can't afford that. Tracee Ellis Ross, everybody.